Jai Hind everyone. I am Vikas Roshan, Assistant Professor, Applied Science and Humanities Department, AKGC Ghaziabad. Today, I am going to take an interesting topic from the subject Essence of Indian Traditional Knowledge, that is having code BNC 502, BNC 602. And the topic what I have taken for this video lecture is State in Ancient India. So, Ancient India में कैसे हमारे states हैं, we will talk about that. So, before I go in detail about the ancient Indian conditions, talking about the 16 Mahajanpadas or talking about the Indian dynasties, let me introduce about the topic. The state is a group of people living in a territory ruled by the government for law, order and welfare. Mind the words. First one is the state is a group of people. Means the first condition of declaring a territory as a state is that it must have group of people. They must be living in an area or territory. Third, it is ruled by a government. And for what? The government will provide law and order and welfare. So we see that by this beautiful definition of a state, it is stated that at least 4 conditions must be met in order to declare a territory as a state. It is there must be a group of people in that area. It must be a territory. It will be run by the government, ruled by the government, and the government will provide the welfare. Government will maintain law and order. In the same line, other definition of a state is there, and that was given by none other than Kautilya or Chanakya. So, Chanakya tells that the state is a political organization. The state is a political organization whose purpose is to protect people. Protection of people is one of the purpose of the state as per the Chanakya, to maintain law and order and promote the welfare of the society. So we see that even Kautilya had defined the state in very well manner even many years ago than the modern before the arrival of modern definitions. So even Kautilya emphasized on the word that the state is a political organization. It protects the right of the people. It protects the safety of the people. Along with it, as per the earlier definition, it also cares about the law and order situation in the state and promotes the welfare, well-being of the people living in that territory. So this is a state, the Hindi meaning Rajya. It is come from the word Rajya, and that is a Sanskrit word. The Sanskrit word of a state is Rajya, जिसका मतलब होता है, that's meaning, its meaning is to rule guided by the dharma. So the ancient meaning was seen from the dharma part. Performing the dharma was guiding the state with the help of dharma, were considered the meaning of state. In Indian traditional knowledge, the idea of a state was very advanced and systematic. We see that it's very advanced, and we see the meaning of a state from the point of view that how beautifully the state is guided with the help of dharma. Dharma, that is following righteous way, righteous path, right path you can say. So unlike modern states focused on the power, the modern states focus on the power, the ancient Indian states aimed at dharma, what I told, the righteousness, the artha, kama and moksha. And dharma, arth, kam, moksha all together known as purushartha. That we will know in coming video lectures. So today we are a states, the meaning of a state, the use of a state is solely or more or less focused on the power. Our ancient Indian states were guided by the principles of purushartha, that is dharma, arth, kam and moksha. Next, governance was seen as the sacred duty, a pure duty, pious duty, where king used to help the people living in that territory, and it was considered as sacred duty, a pure duty, of a duty that can be conducted by king in favor of all the people of the states. Kings were not owners of the state, as sometimes stated these days. Kings are not the owner. In fact, the kings were regarding themselves as the servant the servicemen for the state, the kings who were skillful to manage the states, and they were termed as the statesmen. So the governance was seen as a sacred duty. Kings were not owners of the state, rather they were the protectors, they were the servants. So ancient kings wanted to term them as protector of the state rather than the owner of the state. They served the state like the servant of the state. Ancient text like Arthashastra that was written by Kautilya shows India had deep political science thousands of years ago. So many new countries have arisen in recent past. Recent past, when I say recent past, is not just 1 or 2 years. You have seen that lots of countries formed in the year span of 100, 200, 300 years. But India, having been a rich civilization and ancient civilization, we have developed the art of statesmanship much more earlier. So now under this heading, we will come to know several things, like we will come to know about Saptanga theory of Chanakya, where 7 limbs of the state was word explained by Chanakya, Vishnugupta or Kautilya, where he talks about Swami, Janpad, Amatya, thereafter Durg, thereafter Kosha, Dand and Mitra. I talk about 16 Mahajanpada. 16 Mahajanpada, if you are the student of history or you have prepared for competitive examination, you must have heard this term, Sodas Mahajanpad, Sola Mahajanpad. So during 600 BC, around 16 Mahajanpada used to exist, and it shows that the state were existing in India, and how the states can be ruled, can be managed. These arts were known by our ancient kings very well. So before I tell you about these 16 Mahajanpadas, I tell you that it covers states like Mahajanpada, the great states of that time, larger states greater than the Janpad, and it starts from Kashi, Kausal, Kuru, Kamboj, the 4. Thereafter Magad, Matsya, Mal. You can also know about Avanti, Ashmak, Ang. Then there are Panchal, Surisen, Gandhar, Chedi. So many ancient greater states were existing. So let me provide the details of these Mahajanpadas that were 16 in number. And I will also discuss their capitals. So this is a chart what I want to display before you, and try to remember as much as you can. So the Kashi, Kausal, Kuru, Kamboj, Magad, Matsya, Mal, Avanti, Ashmak, Ang, Vajji, Vas, Sursena, Panchal, Gandhar and Chedi. So these 16 Mahajanpada were existing in our ancient India. So let's know in detail about this all. Kashi, the capital was Varanasi, and at this point of time it falls in the area of Varanasi region of Uttar Pradesh. Then comes Kaushal. Kaushal, the capital was Shravasti, and it again falls in UP region, Eastern UP region, you say. Then Kuru. Kuru, you must have heard this word, Kuru, Kurukshetra. Somewhere it is close to UP and Haryana of that time. Kurukshetra, you must have heard this name in Mahabharata. So, you know, 16 Mahajanpada, there are many sources that talks about the 16 Mahajanpada. You can find the details in Mahabharata, in ancient scriptures of Jainism and Buddhism also. So, Kuru, the capital was Indraprastha. The term Indraprastha was also mentioned in Mahabharata. And it falls in the region of Delhi, Meerut and Haryana region. Even still it is found. So, Kurukshetra, whose capital was Indraprastha, and that fell in the region of, that falls in the region of Delhi, Meerut, Haryana region. Then come Kamboj. Kamboj, the northern part of our India. The northern part, it falls in the Jammu and Kashmir region. So, Kamboj, the capital was Punch and Rajpura. Somewhere Punch is still the name of area in the Jammu and Kashmir, and of course, uh, every now and then its name is highlighted in the newspaper or sometimes in the news channel. Not because of good reason, of course, because of the terrorism activity. Then comes Kamboj, that falls in the Punch region, having capital that falls in J&K region of India, and the capital is Punch, Rajpura. Then comes Magad, one of the strongest Mahajanpad of that time, Magadha, where Mauryan dynasty used to rule. Magad, the capital was Rajgriha. Somewhere it's also written that Patliputra became the main capital was the Rajgriha. Grivraja is also the second name of this, Magadha. And it falls in the region of Patna and Gaya of current time, Bihar. So Magadha, the very prominent, very strong nation of that time. It was also among one of the Sodas Mahajanpadas. Then comes Matsya. Matsya was in Jaipur region. Matsya, and the capital was Viratnagar. Matsya capital was Viratnagar, and it is in the Rajasthan, close to the Jaipur. Then comes Mall. Actually, Mall is also known for one of the republic state where democracy started. Somewhere you may also find the statement that Malla is one of the Mahajanpad that was pioneer in starting the pioneer in starting the democracy. So Mall, it falls in UP, Devariya region of UP, and the capital is Kushinara. Avanti, the capital is Ujjaini and Mahismati. Mahismati name has become very popular after the movie Bahubali, where you must have heard the name Mahishmati. So, however, the Bahubali is a fictional movie, but the capital of Avanti was Ujjaini and Mahishmati. And where does it fall? Avanti falls in Madhya Pradesh, Malwa region of Madhya Pradesh. Then comes Ashmak. It falls in the area of Maharashtra region of current time, and the capital is somewhere it is written as Patan, somewhere Pathan, somewhere Pratisthana. So this was the capital of Ashmak. Then comes Ang. Again, it was in the Bihar. Magad was also in Bihar, and Ang was also the part of Mahajanpad that falls in the region of Bihar. We see that most of the Mahajanpadas are either in UP or Bihar, mostly, you will see. So the Ang, it is in the Bhagalpur region, Munger region of current Bihar, and the capital was the Champa. So then comes Vajji. Somewhere it is also written as Brizzi. So the capital of Vajji was Vaishali, and it's a place in Bihar close to Patna, but on the opposite side of river Ganga. So Vaishali, in the Vaishali region, we see that Anga, there was the existence of Ang Mahajanpad. In the Vaishali region, that is also in the Bihar, and there was the existence of Vajji Mahajanpad. Then come Vats. The capital of Vats is Kaushambi. It was close to Allahabad region, Prayagraj. Now the new name is Prayagraj in UP. So Vats. Then comes Surasena. It is again in UP, in Mathura, near the Mathura region. You can say Mathura Vrindavan region of the current time. And Surasena, the capital was considered as Mathura. Panchal is also a term you must have heard in Mahabharata. The Panchali was the term used because of association with Panchal region. So the Panchali or Draupadi, you must have heard. So Panchal region is also a popular region that is known to most of us. The capital of Panchal was two. One is Ahichhatra and second one is Kampilya. There were the two capitals of Panchal. And again, Panchal is in UP, Western UP, you see. Then comes Gandhar, Gandhar or Gandhari. Gandhari word again you can correlate with the Mahabharat, and this Gandhar region is in close to Afghanistan, Pakistan region. Gandhar. You must have heard about Kandahar, where the uh, a plane was abducted by the terrorists and taken to the Kandahar. So that is the Gandhar. The new name sometimes it is referred as Kandahar. So the capital is Takshila. The capital of Gandhar is Takshila, and it falls in the Rawalpindi of Pakistan, but some region of Afghanistan is also associated as in the current map we see. And the 16th one is Chedi. Chedi is falling in the MP and UP Bundelkhand region, and the capital is Shuktimati. So we see that there are 16 Mahajanpadas that used to exist during 600 BC, and it is a clear evidence that we Indians have a rich civilization. The ancient India had already lots of structures of ruling, lots of territories were available at that time, and we knew how to run the state, how to manage the state. So I have already told that around 6th century, 600 BC time period, a small tribes, Janpadas, grew into large political units called Mahajanpada. This period marks the beginning of organized states and urban life. From the tribal life, the things got organized, and ultimately Janpad formed, and thereafter the greater Janpads become the Mahajanpada, and we get the evidence of this from various sources. Development of iron technology, better farming, and expanding trade helps kingdom to become stronger. And we know that the reason behind the strength of Magadha was also its location, its access to iron ore, its access to close to the Ganga. It was close to the Ganga river. So these all facilities were provided to some Mahajanpadas, and that helped them to become stronger. So some Mahajanpadas were ruled by the kings. In fact, I would say that most of the Mahajanpadas was ruled by the king, but some like Mall, some like Vajji, they become republics where democracy-like system. Sorry, they were like the democracy-like systems were existing in Mall and other Janpadas. This Vera is very important because of the Buddhism and Jainism began during this time period. This time period is marked by the uprising of religion like Buddhism and Jainism. From this 16th state, Magadha later became the most powerful, leading to the Mauryan Empire. And we know that under the Chanakya, under the Chandragupta Maurya, the Mauryan dynasty became stronger and stronger. And most of the Janpadas, we can say that came under the Mauryan Empire. So this was a brief history, talking about the Mahajanpadas. What we can correlate with our topic, states in ancient India. The states in ancient India were like in the form of Mahajanpadas. States in ancient India, like Mahajanpadas, having various sources, we come to know about them. And one more thing we can talk, that dynasties. We have known the fact that our Janpadas were made up of various dynasties. So under this, we can also talk about some dynasties. You know that various dynasties used to exist of that time. We know about Haryang dynasty, we know about Sisunag dynasty, Nanda dynasty that was rooted out by the Chanakya, and Chandragupta Maurya was sworn in. We know about Mauryan dynasty, Sunga dynasty, Pushyamitra Sung. We know about Kanwa dynasty and lots other Gupta dynasty, Saptavahana. So I am presenting a table that will also let you know about, recap you about the dynasties. I am putting this table to just help you to recollect once about the major dynasty in short. So we can talk about the state, definition of a state. We have known about the 16 Mahajanpada, and under the ancient Indian states, we can talk about the dynasties. Dynasties like Haryang dynasty, I told the period 544 to 543 BC. Bimbisara and Ajasattu, the popular ruler of that time, and they expanded the Magadha. Shishunag dynasty existed between 413 to 345 BC. Shishunag and Kalashoka were the important rulers. They further strengthened the Magadha. Then come Nanda dynasty, 345 to 322 BC. Mahapadmananda and Dhanananda. Dhanananda that was defeated by Chandragupta Maurya. They had a strong treasury, large army. Then comes Mauryan dynasty. Mauryan dynasty between the time period of 322 BC to 185 BC, and this strong Mauryan dynasty, the strong rulers like Ashoka, Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara, they were the popular rulers of Mauryan dynasty. First pan-Indian empire era of Kautilya. Shunga dynasty, Pushyamitra Sung, you must have heard about him, who restarted revival of Brahmanism started by him, or he somehow diminished the influence of Buddhism in India. So Sunga dynasty existed between 185 to 73 BC. Pushyamitra Sunga was the important leader, revival of Brahmanism. Kanva dynasty 73 to 28 BC. Vasudev Kanva was the important leader, last Magadha dynasty before the foreign rule. Then after, you must have heard about Kushan dynasty, that Kanishka was the ruler, and trade was flourished during that time. Buddhism also spread during that time period. Thereafter, Gupta dynasty, the golden period of the India, 320 to 550 CE. Chandragupta I, Samudragupta, Chandragupta II were the important rulers, and it is considered as the golden period of India, golden age of India. And at last, Vardhana dynasty, where Harsvardhana was the important ruler, and cultural unity in the northern India was initiated by him. Apart from them, you can also talk about the Chola dynasty and others. So these are some important dynasty from ancient India, and we can also talk about these headings like dynasty, like Sola Mahajanpad, like meaning of states under the heading states in ancient India. Thank you all.